Hi, Mark here. It is Tuesday, August the 19th, 10 a.m. Eastern, US session well underway, 2 p.m. GMT in the afternoon portion of the European session. And let's have a look at how the US dollar is performing at this point, starting on the US dollar index. And there you can see a slight red candlestick, but pretty much where it closed yesterday. Tested higher today, 98.18 is resistance and has tested lower as well. 97.70 being support, sitting in the middle of that range for now. Buyers will be looking up at this 98 and higher. Sellers of US index looking down at that support below the 97.70 support area. Let's see how the majors are shaping up, starting with the Euro US. Pretty flat, also has tried higher and lower. Got support at 116.40. I've got resistance at 116.93. But have a look over the past few days. Green, red, green, red, a little bit of green today. Sideways, if anything, EMA is almost running side by side, parallel to each other. Let's just zoom in on the hourly. And there you can see to start with today, it's been buying euro, selling US dollar. So that is weak US dollar. Has been a turnaround in the last few hours. Selling euro, buying US dollar fighting back. Sellers will be looking down here at that support of the 116.40. Buyers of euro, sellers of US, continuation of weak US dollar will be looking up at the 116.93 level. Let's have a look at the pound. Pound US, you can see on the daily lower highs all the way through today, pretty much where it closed yesterday, sitting in the middle of today's range, the range being 134.84 support and 135.33 resistance. There's the hourly. You can see sitting in the middle of today's range. Earlier in the European session, that's buying pound, selling US, weak US dollar. US dollar has attempted a fight back and now sitting pretty flat. You can see that 135.14 for now. Buyers of pound, sellers of US, a continuation of what we saw earlier, will be looking up at this resistance above 135.33. Sellers of pound, buyers of US, if the US is able to fight back, will be looking down at support 134.84. US yen. Here we've seen weak US dollar and red candlestick looking down at support at the moment. Support sitting at 147.50. That's the level sellers will be targeting. Resistance 148.12. Let's have a look at the hourly. And there you can see at the moment selling US dollar, buying yen, weak US dollar, sellers looking down at this support below 147.50. A turnaround to US dollar strength if US buyers turn things around and step in at the support area, we'll be looking up at the 148.12 resistance area. And then we've got the US dollar Canadian. Here we see strong US dollar. US dollar strengthened following the CPI numbers out of Canada earlier this morning. US dollar pushing higher, set support at 138.44 from support at 138.01. Let's zoom in on the hourly. There you can see over the past 3 hours, buyers in control of US dollar, that strong US dollar, weak Canadian, testing this resistance right now to 138.44. US dollar buyers, US dollar strength will look to break above this 138.44, 138.50 level. Sellers of US, if there's a turnaround and US dollar weakness from here, selling US, buying Canadian, Canadian strength will be sellers of US dollar will be looking down at the 138 support area. Good trading, keep that discipline. We do have support and resistance levels to work with, and I will see you at the end of the day. Good trading.